Alright, hello everyone, and now welcome to a game, Romantic versus Infi. This game taking place here on Tidewater Glades. Not quite sure why the overlay is not working. Let's go ahead and try it one more time, get things going for you guys. Infi spawning as the blue undead on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Romantic has spawned as the orange human on the bottom right. Nope, no overlay this time? Oh, nope, there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and speed things up here, get things underway. I am expecting to see an Archmage from Romantic. Meanwhile, we are going to be looking at a Lich from Infi. Archmage versus Lich, and it really does make a lot more sense now to see this Lich out in play. Lich first, trying to get that Lich to level 3 very quickly is so important, as it's able to really knock down doors, and then the sudden appearance of the Death Knight at level 2 can still not be understated because of that 200 hit point heal. It almost becomes a much more powerful supporting unit as opposed to just the one that's constantly leading the army. Now, the Lich also able to maintain mana just a little bit better here, as we see a possible fast expansion attempt by Infi. Alright, quick Frost Nova, applying that slow debuff across multiple units. Claws of Attack +4 will be picked up as a Ziggurat, now being placed down for some early Nerubian Tower and this potential expansion. Meanwhile, down to the west or east side here, Romantic clearing out of this creep camp quickly, and will be able to set up perhaps an Arcane Tower and follow it up with a Town Hall. The Lich is already coming over, trying to perhaps pick off any low hit point units. Doesn't see any. You see that Romantic purposely denied that Water Elemental early, as the Archmage and Footman are putting pressure onto that Lich, but the reinforcing units now coming back around as well. Lich very cautious with his mana, wants to make sure that every Frost Nova ensures a kill, and at that point these footmen do not have enough damage on them to ensure that just quite yet. Dual Water Elementals gonna be pushing in a lot of damage. That Brilliance Aura adding up quite a bit of additional mana, as we're seeing the Water Elementals finish off units. There's a quick Frost Nova onto a Peasant that gets taken down. Level 2 now on that Lich means we should be looking at some Dark Rituals, Skeletal Minions, and maybe even Ghouls. Beware if Infi needs a bit more mana on that Lich to ensure a kill on, say, the Archmage. Coming back around here, we're looking at the Water Elemental still trying to retreat back away. That Scout Tower nearly upgraded to Arcane Tower. There is a quick kill there. Lich now getting up a little bit more mana, and now that Lich is trying to finish off the Scout Tower before it does upgrade, and now the Arcane Tower does hit that Lich. Lich trying to back away, get a little bit of distance, but unable to do exactly that. We may be looking up. There was an actual ritual dagger on a ghoul. No skeletal minions nearby, and without a skeletal minion nearby, and without wanting to waste any time, quickly used that ritual dagger, saying, you know what, I'm sorry, you need to get taken out to try and save all the others. Alright, not quite sure why he didn't take out one of the lower hit point ghouls, and for... as I believe there was more hit points on some of the other ghouls there. Lich now coming back around, going to take that Tome. I believe that was a Tome of Intelligence. Able to put in pressure again, as we see another Frost Nova and a little bit of damage, taking down another footman there. Alright, we are looking at the Peasants trying to build this Town Hall, and it looks like it will get up and operational. Meanwhile, we're already at 2 and now 3 acolytes on that gold mine, ready to extract that gold there and push that economic advantage. More damage pressing on through. The Archmage gonna have a little bit of trouble. Ghoul is already coming around the backside there, trying to cut off any escape here, and this is gonna force the Archmage to use the Scroll of Town Portal in time. But I don't believe there's an Arcane Vault. Without an Arcane Vault, that Archmage is going to be, not be able to join the fight for quite a bit of time. As we see, Infi was delivered a fresh new Rod of Necromancy by a ghoul with the backpack upgrade to keep this onslaught going. So doing all of the small things well, micromanaging all these things here as a low hit point ghoul, able to back up. One footman going to get taken down. We could be seeing level 3 onto that Lich here in just a moment, as that Water Elemental tries to keep away as well. Militia now still being called back over. The Lich, if it gets up to level 3, could have the opportunity to try and sacrifice a ghoul for that mana to perhaps blast that low hit point Archmage. The Archmage shows up at 80 hit points and still somehow stays alive here. There's that Ritual Dagger again, keeping all of these units alive. And now going to run one lap or so to regenerate those hit points and to perhaps push back through again. Every little bit of experience matters so much. We know how important those odd level hero levels are for giving that little bit of extra boost. And now that Lich just shy of level 3. All right, little bit of damage getting added onto those footmen. Footmen are retreating back. Lich wants to find a way to get that little bit of extra experience here. Are we going to see some damage across those units? Perhaps find a low, deal some damage. There's another, Dark Ritual there, getting back up to 154 mana. Perhaps just trying to poke apart, trying to figure out a way to get that little bit of experience as the Archmage gets up to level 3. Lich now up to level 3, and this could be a problem. All right, there's a big Frost Nova amongst the sea of the units. Could the Lich take down that low hit point Footman? Low hit point Footman down to 52 hit points. Trailing from behind, but was not attacked. Oddly enough, the Archmage is getting attacked there. There's a Dark Ritual onto a Ghoul, and that could be the death of the Archmage that we talked about. Archmage, however, got denied by the Water Elemental, so no bonus experience for the Lich, but the Archmage is still at least out for the count just a little bit. Any of these Ghouls that are lost at this point in stage are not going to be getting any experience, as the Archmage is down and until he gets resurrected either back here or at the tavern. All right, it looks like it is going to be I thought I saw him momentarily resurrected at the Altar of Kings, but instead going to spend that a bit of extra gold to get that Archmage back in action. All right, Ghoul is trying to retreat back. Lich still has a little bit of mana here. Is that Ghoul going to be able to retreat away down to dead? No, gets taken down as we see another Frost Nova go down onto the Archmage, but Archmage seems to have enough distance. That Ring of Protection +4 offering enough protection from those Ghouls for the Lich to give up chase. Now, we could be looking at the Mountain King and the Death Knight joining in on the follow-up fight here soon. Both players are running up on 2 bases. Both players, have been doing a good job controlling their opponent's pacing and tempo. We are looking at the Peasant here, Blacksmith here as well. Meanwhile, perhaps going to start transitioning into Rifleman. Meanwhile, Crypt Fiend's already being cranked out by Infi. All right, Tech to Tier 3 already started. Altar of Darkness already summoning up the Death Knight, and we should be looking at perhaps a Slaughterhouse as well, but we are missing quite a bit of lumber. Perhaps trying to get the additional get a Goblin Shredder could be the right call here, as the Lich does pick up a quick and easy kill. Archmage now going after the remainder of this Goblin Laboratory creep camp. I thought he picked up a Goblin Shredder. No? Okay. Oh, nope. Goblin Shredder back at the Expo, even though there isn't nearly as many trees off over here. Romantic going to be adding in some additional towers as well, perhaps expecting a lot more units as the Archmage comes back across here, could try and pick off some units. Ghoul, however, got a holy or Scroll of Healing just in time, and one of those situations where that item right there really worth its weight, as it was able to save one unit. The other Ghoul, however, not nearly as lucky. Coming back through, Lich is sitting at level 3, could get to level 4, and could open up level 2 Dark Ritual, as Frost Armor not nearly as powerful as it once was. If you guys were not aware, Frost Armor previously added, as you leveled it up, it increased the armor that the unit received, but the slowness debuff for melee attackers was static and consistent. Now it appears that they debuffed it a level. Level 1 Frost Armor doesn't provide as much slowness or slowness debuff as it used to in the past, but as it leveled up, it got stronger and stronger. But right now, Infi rather have level 2 Dark Ritual over level 1 Frost Armor and level 1 Dark Ritual. coming back through. We're looking at the Death Knight now leading the charge inside here. Well, Scout Tower is going to get pressured down. Remember, it does have light armor, meaning it takes bonus damage from the piercing damage of these Crypt Fiends as that tower gets taken down quickly. Mountain King, however, quickly out here on the battlefield, could get some quick storm bolts trying to pick off any of those trailing units, and that's exactly what happens there. Crypt Fiend down as the Archmage now gets up to level 4. That level 2 Brilliance Aura, a big deal as it opens up more mana for the Archmage's Water Elementals, but perhaps more importantly, the Mountain King's Stormbolts. Both sides, well, looking to do a little bit of a standoff here. Infi, 61 supply compared to Romantic's 48. There's some more Frost Novas here. Infi doesn't have as much gold in the bank, but, well, Romantic's gold in the bank isn't going to translate into a victory on the battlefield until he spends that gold now. All right, a quick Stormbolt followed by Frost Nova. Crypt Fiend trying to stay alive instead gets denied right there. Are we going to see some trailing units perhaps get taken down? There's a Death Coil trying to finish off one unit. Water Elemental could easily get taken down as well. There goes another. There's level 2 on the Death Knight. And Unholy Aura will allow the Undead Army to give chase even faster. Coming back through. Infi looking for this opportunity to clear out creep camps in peace. Meanwhile, Archmage, with only a small army of footmen and a Mountain King, trying to test the waters here and catching some of the creeps on the opposite side of the map. All right, even though Infi is taking out a much higher level creep camp, the fact that the other side's creeps were taken are a big deal. Alright, Ghoul Frenzy was completed. Very fast movement speed here. Are we going to see some Storm Bolts catching some units in transit? No, we are not. As we are looking now at Romantic with Staff of Sanctuaries, perhaps going to be able to teleport those units back. Alright, we are looking at triple barracks, but we still do not see Animal War Training as we see a big Storm Bolt go down onto that Lich. Is there an Orb of Fire? No Orb of Fire that I see so far. Carrion Swarm ripping through a bunch of damage here. Obsidian Statues, there's some Holy Light as units are getting caught all across the place. Staff of Sanctuary saving a unit there. Obsidian Statue being forced to retreat back. More Frost Novas going down here. Perhaps some easy damage. And those low hit point footmen getting picked off by a Carrion Swarm there, as there is one Obsidian Statue still providing and giving support once more. Units are retreating back, 61 supply compared to 63. Both sides suffering heavy casualty and losses as the ghouls are now being forced to retreat away. Perhaps Stormbolt going to catch one, Holy Light catches the other, and Infi, well, losing both of those ghouls who dove in hard. Alright, more knights still getting trained up. Animal War Training still not done. It feels like I've mentioned this before, as the ghouls are, well, Death Knight, Lich, and a Dreadlord ready to dive on him. Big Frost Nova, Carrion Swarm, nasty 1-2 punch as the Carrion Swarm picking off many of those low hit point peasants who were just out of range right there. Arcane Tower now taking down Stormbolt, finding a Crypt Fiend. Meanwhile, the Death Knight has really no mana. Obsidian Statue is trying to find its way in the back here, and Romantic should be able to, well, pick off some of these units, perhaps get another Stormbolt on another trailing Crypt Fiend as well, as we're looking at the Knights trying to dive in after these Crypt Fiends, those Sundering Blades making a big difference. Alright, Burrowed Crypt Fiend and working just in time now, but it looks like it was still spotted here, as we're looking at more damage getting racked up. Archmage trying to come back around the other side, perhaps going to be able to pick off more of Infi's units as the Death Coil finds the Obsidian Statue. Alright, Death Knight needs to get to level 3, Paladin gets to level 2 in all the chaos as the Lich falls at level 4. Knights are still charging on in here, now finally going to be retreating back as the Lich resurrected at the tavern resurrected at the tavern for well, to get back out here on the battlefield quickly. Alright, a lot of action going back and forth. Finally, a bit of reprieve. Romantic has these workshops here, but he's being very careful to not blindly invest in those flying machines. We've seen human players build too many flying machines in the past, and then we just see them stagnant without the ability to train or really do anything. However, there is a flip side to this conundrum and problem. If you don't train up any flying machines, you're not going to have them when you need them. And, well, Romantic investing so heavily in all of these knights, we know that we're going to be looking at destroyers soon. Water Elemental now down in here. A nice thunderclap across all of those units. Ghouls getting taken or cleaned up here. Death Coil finding a low hit point Ghoul as we're still surrounding around here. Ghouls now trying to swarm in from that backside. They were off on the far side, perhaps trying to catch those units as they come in from a different position here. All right, Tome of Intelligence. Anyone trying to go after them right now? No, they are not. As the destroyers are now out here on the battlefield. Flying machines now trying to join in on the fight here as the destroyers really want to go in after all of these knights. The destroyers do have a little bit of mana right now as more flying machines are coming over to reinforce, buying or training up those flying machines right when you need them. Flying machines are getting taken down. Staff of Sanctuary is saving up some of these units as we are looking at 2 Staff of Sanctuaries by Romantic so far. Alright, Lich does get up to level 5. Level 3 Frost Nova definitely in the works. 1-1 upgrades against 2-2. 70 supply compared to 69. As the level 3 Frost Nova, level 2 Death Coil may be a bit much to try and overcome. Now, the Archmage, Mountain King, and Paladin, they could get in a lot of creeping here, perhaps get up to level 3 on that Mountain King, but perhaps just as important, or if not more important, level 3 on that Paladin for that Holy Light. Archmage, Water Elementals are important right now as the level 2 variety simply don't have enough hit points to withstand the Devour magic of these destroyers. And the destroyers snack on the Water Elementals just a bit too much, allowing the mana on those destroyers to really eat through these knights. Knights still looking at no animal war training, finally getting it, as Infi says, you know what, I don't want to upgrade animal war training or any of the upgrades until I'm on the cusp of high upkeep. That seems to be his strategy. I think if you do the math, it makes more sense to as adding in 1 additional knight helps more in your damage output than getting the animal war training. But in the same breath, in the same way, well, adding 1 more and having more hit points on all of your knights is also incredibly important as well. All right, Mountain King trying to pick off more units. There's a Stormbolt. Gonna try and take down another one. Gets up to level 3. A big level for that Mountain King, who now has level 2 Thunderclap. The level 2 Thunderclap should also be thought of as a damage prevention ability as it gets higher and higher. That Thunderclap slows the attack rate of enemy units significantly, while on top of that growing in radius. And as it grows in radius, it obviously affects more of the battlefield. There is a lot of ghouls trying to escape away here. Are we going to see some damage? Yes, damage onto some of those units. Mountain King going to find a Stormbolt, take down another couple of ghouls as the main army of Infi now diving into the base here. Are we right? Going to go ahead and land. There's a Carrion Swarm ripping through the Archmage and all of these units. Mountain King doesn't have enough to try and Stormbolt there as the flying machines finding the destroyers as they're flying on by. Romantic catching and going to be taking down these destroyers quickly. 1 or 2 more shots would have done it. Death Coil, however, finds it instead. Skeletal minions getting cleaned up here, but really needs to be going after higher priority targets as the Paladin now sitting at level 3. Low hit point or Knight leading the charge here, finding its way to perhaps get in front of units and causing a little bit of problems. Carrion Swarm, however, ripping on through. Archmage now has a bit of problems as well as the ghouls are coming in from behind. Frost Nova onto the Archmage. Archmage thought he was well protected in the back, only to see a swarm of ghouls right behind him there. Alright, another Scroll of Healing. Archmage now quickly resurrected here. Gonna try and engage here. Mountain King with a Thunderclap, but not hitting nearly as many units as more Scrolls of Healing being used by the undead army. Keeping units alive. Archmage quickly wondering how this game got away, quickly teleporting back home. Alright. Game got sideways very, very quickly. One peasant just completely body blocking this body blocking the Archmage from moving right now. Romantic, perhaps not aware that there is this low hit point peasant right there causing problems, as well Infi is able to start damaging some of the other units here. Alright, Arcane Vault. We are now going into Griffins, perhaps to try and go after the Obsidian statues before they transform, as the Carrion Swarm Frost Nova really pushing through a lot more damage again. Alright, Dreadlord with that Carrion Swarm really doing a lot more damage than I expected, and nice to see the Dreadlord finding a place. And I remember in years past it was all about the Crypt Lord and those Impales, but the Carrion Swarm's range and damage cannot be denied either. Alright, Griffin Riders 3-0 upgrade. A bunch of knights hiding behind their castle as they've been taking large amounts of damage with the undead simply sieging and trying to cut off, trying to destroy the outskirts of the city and all of the production. 70 supply compared to 73. Workshop gonna get taken down, and once these workshops are gone, it is gonna give free reign for Infi to go back into destroyers, as many of the flying machines were taken down earlier. Alright, Knights trying to get in and out of position, gonna be able to do that. Obsidian statues, however, these two Obsidian statues very low on low on mana, and not gonna be able to do much as they both decide to transform into destroyers, and that's pretty much all you can do with destroyers once they're out of mana. Turn them in, Obsidian statues, once they're out of mana, turn them into destroyers. Building after building getting taken down here. Scroll of Regeneration, not the best way to try and heal up 900 hit point units, but that's often the most you can do, as those units are still wandering back here. Now, one thing to note, the racial identity of human units are often like high armor units, right? You take a look at these knights, base armor 9 or base armor of 5 can get up to 11. That armor, in conjunction or working with their relatively high hit points, 985, works out very well. Their effective hit points, north of, what is that, 66 times 985. That overall, well, adds in a lot more effective hit points when dealing, well, combat damage. However, spell damage scales differently, and the spell damage always does that full amount to those knights regardless of armor. You may be saying, hey, I understand that, I know how that works. But when you think about it, a knight has a lot more effective hit points than a grunt, but the amount of spell damage is fairly similar. Romantic now coming across over here on the top right, had a squadron of flying machines hiding, and now trying to take down these destroyers before the destroyers take down the knights. War of attrition, both sides 69 compared to 66, as the Carrion Swarm ripping through as well. Flying machines are getting shut down here. Lich going to be forced to try and retreat. A couple of low hit point ghouls going to get taken down. Holy Light finishing things off there. Romantic now taking the supply lead again. Bottom left hand side of the map, Infi is taking this second gold mine, or the final gold mine here, as the main expos are going to start to run out of gold. The flying machine of Romantic going to scout this out, figure out what's going on, and see that the expo is currently up and operational. Meanwhile, Romantic needs, well, to figure out how to rebuild his army to actually move on out and prevent Infi from mining this gold freely. Perhaps that was Infi's strategy. By taking down the workshops, taking down some of the barracks, even if he exchanged just evenly, he knew that the army would not gonna be able to engage. Now, a beautiful call by Romantic this time around, getting those bombs early to be able to take down these buildings. They are actually a threat to the ground and this expo, as the knights are now here to finish off this haunted gold mine. Now, Archmage could, if needed to, just use that Scroll of Town portal to head back out. Are we going to see any sort of saving of those units? Yes, we do. Holy Light, no Staff of Sanctuary, but able to just teleport out of there, and with that, force Infi to re-haunt that gold mine, but perhaps more importantly, well, stop the mining from that gold mine for another 45 seconds to a minute again. Now, Death Knight looking to get to level 5. Dreadlord now sitting at level 4, level 2 Vampiric Aura on the Dreadlord. Oddly enough, no Abomination, just ghouls, and ghouls, Death Knight, and that Dreadlord benefiting there, as the Death Knight having dual Pure Up to Vitalities, 1250 hit points at level 4. Alright, constantly trying to bombard right there. Haunted gold mines have no armor while they are, or buildings have no armor while they are being built, but they do have the armor type of their base building if they're being upgraded. So slight differentiations there if you're wondering why. Well, or guard towers being upgraded are so vulnerable to piercing damage, but not, say, upgrading from town hall to keep and castle. 27 minutes into this game, and Death Knight still having that a bit of devotion or a little bit of additional protection. Army sizes are very, very comparable. Hero levels are comparable as well. So it's going to come down to who has that initial burst of damage first, who's able to get that. If the undead is able to get that initial burst of damage first, then they're going to get level 5 on that Death Knight. And what is Romantic doing? Romantic is going after the buildings which actually provide a bit of experience. Alright, also, you cannot deny these buildings as either, because the undead can always unsummon them. Lich now trying to change its position. Flying machines trying to go after the destroyers. Some of them are getting taken down. Flying machines with those flak cannons, splashing that damage around quickly. 60 supply compared to 69. Big thunderclap across all those units on the ground, and there's just so much going on here. Alright. More damage getting racked up. 55 supply. Infi with the one taking a lot more damage. Thunderclap going down. Are we seeing the scroll of town portal? No, as the fly machines are still trying to bombard the ground now that all of the air units are gone. Infi down to 44 supply here as the Death Knight does get up to level 5. Paladin sitting at level 4. We're going to see some more holy Staff of Sanctuaries and Holy Lights trying to save up units as well. Death Knight down to 800 hit points as the flying machines are looking for fresh targets. Meanwhile, the destroyer could try and devour more magic. Mountain King now out of mana. Archmage is level 2 Brilliance Aura, level 3 Water Elementals. More Staff of Sanctuary saving, just trying to cut their losses now as the Lich is looking to perhaps try and save a couple more targets, or picked off a little bit more targets here. Lich is sitting at level 6 Carrion Swarm, ripping through, finding a little bit more targets again. Are we going to see a Death Coil? Yes, we are. Mountain King sitting at level 4, not yet at level 5, and not having level 2 Thunderclap, a big deal there as the Crypt Fiends are now having a bit of trouble. Alright, Crypt Fiends getting taken down. Flying machines with their True Sight, a big deal. Infi perhaps forgetting that that the flying machines offer True Sight, and making those burrowed Crypt Fiends stay still for 5 seconds. Actually very, very bad news. Staff of Sanctuary teleporting to save more of these units, but one knight blocking another right there. Flying machines getting teleported back, and behind all of this, Infi is in fact mining from a gold mine. Romantic is not mining, so what you see is what you get from Romantic. Meanwhile, Infi continues to grow and build his army. Mountain King should be down here in this fight, trying to get a little bit of additional experience and get up to level 5. Are we going to see the Mountain King come in from behind, perhaps get in a thunderclap against all of these units here? Acolytes are, well, nope, not going to be going for that. Holy Light trying to save there. Perhaps going to Stormbolt trying to finish off some more units, and now the Lich can be in trouble. Where is the Lich? Lich down to 300 hit points. 275 trying to get away. Mountain King is going to be able to get off a Stormbolt. There is the Archmage trying to get away, down to 149 hit points. Is it going to be able to survive? Going after the Lich. Lich uses a potion of lesser invulnerability in time. Staff of Sanctuary saves the Archmage. Both low hit point, intelligence-based heroes. Okay, as the Mountain King now gets up to level 5. Level 5, is it going to go for level 3 Stormbolt? Yes, it does. Going after the Death Knight. Death Knight now trying to double back around. Mountain King not having nearly enough mana as the Knights are trying to catch up here, and Mountain King without Brilliance Aura unable to catch up to the Death Knight, and now the Paladin is one step away. Are we going to see a potion of invulnerability transferred there? Potion of invulnerability transferred there. Staff of Sanctuary could be transferred over as well to try and get that Mountain King, or get that Paladin back home, as the Knights are now retreating back again. Mountain King, is he going to try and Thunderclap, do anything here? Are we going to see a Staff of Sanctuary? There's a Holy Light, but not in time. You saw the Paladin try to raise his hammer, but instead ends up not being able to save. Paladin Staff of Sanctuary still on cooldown. Archmage may be able to save something here as both sides are fighting their way through. Knight level 6 now on the Archmage. Archmage is he going to try and mass teleport? Divine Shield still working quite a bit of magic here, but the Divine Shield cannot last forever, as we see a Staff of Sanctuary there. Alright, Paladin could have a little bit of troubles trying to retreat back away. Mountain King not resurrected. Yet there's the carry. Ooh. Whoa. The timing on that, I believe he was trying to time that carry-on swarm to be... but the Paladin able to head back here. Mountain King is getting resurrected, and now a very, very long walk of shame for all of these peasants to get every single bit of gold that they can. 53 supply compared to 32. We're looking at the Paladin is about to get taken down. Mass teleport coming back across the other side there, as we're looking at the low hit point units. Arcane Tower perhaps going to try and drain the mana off of that Dreadlord. No, not going after that at all. We're going to see the Lich perhaps finish off the Paladin there, but we could see the Arch Lich down to 42 hit points, still trying to retreat away. Flying Machines as Archmage is going to be enough. No, it is not. Meanwhile, the Dreadlord is right there, and the Dreadlord is going to get finished off here. No, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Alright, just trying to stay right there. This Arcane Tower taking quite a bit of damage, but ends up getting shut down still. Mountain King resurrected. Alright, mass teleport. Summoning up a water elemental, teleporting off to the other side here. Obsidian statue quickly getting taken out, and now going after some of these other units. Potion of healing on the Archmage. The Archmage dove in here knowing that is a tight, bad situation, but knows that he needs to stop some of this mining here, as Knights are going to get taken down as well. There goes another Knight, Death Knight, setting at level 5 here, trying to run away from the Knights here on the battlefield. A new Obsidian statue could get taken down. And is it going to get taken down? Yes, it is. That Obsidian statue had nearly full mana, as the Archmage could try and save some more low hit point units again. More Water Elementals, more Staff of Teleportation, trying to save these units again. Perhaps a Scroll of Regeneration is what is needed here, as we are still waiting to resurrect this Mountain King, and then perhaps follow it up with Paladin. Scroll of Resurrection. Mountain King, does it have any items? Yeah, Mountain King's gonna hop out here, sell some of those items, most likely to try and then perhaps resurrect that Paladin here. Cloak of Shadows, easily not needed, but you don't need to be repairing your buildings. You need your third and final hero to join in on the battle. Alright, big Frost Nova across multiple peasants. Those peasants seemingly lined up, not expecting that the Lich would just simply show up there and get in a large amount of damage. Mountain King is going to be able to get a big Stormbolt. No, not a Storm. No good Stormbolts there, as the units retreat back again. More long-distance mining, but it is really the fact that Infi is holding on to this haunted gold mine, being able to defend it, that is going to give Infi the victory. Now, Romantic could continue to try and do this long-distance mining, but it's just not enough income fast enough. Archmage does have mass teleport. Moving around the map quickly is absolutely key, as the Archmage, well, hangs back here. Tomb of Relics trying to be placed down. Stormbolt finds an Acolyte, and now we're going to see a Staff of Sanctuary. Oh, mass teleport to get away. Well, saving all of those units there, forcing perhaps another Acolyte to come back over. That's all he can try and do. Rinse and repeat that strategy. Army size is still growing for Infi, up to 35 supply, now compared to 23. Alright. Paladin, Lich. Or sorry, Death Knight, Lich, Paladin waiting to get resurrected. Couple of ghouls nearby, ready to go. Water Elemental coming back across here. What else is going to get picked up and saved, as the, well, Paladin still needs to get resurrected. There's a big Frost Nova across those units. Little bit of damage, but that damage is going to stick, as there are no priests and no paladins, or no paladin was out on the battlefield, as this peasant, come on, bring your bag of gold back here. Well, no, come on. All right. Not realizing that there was a bag of gold there. Ghoul getting sniped down once more. Water Elemental now trying to back away. Paladin is right there. There's a Death Coil Frost Nova, as the Dreadlord lines up a big attack again. There goes a Ghoul. There goes a Carrion Swarm. The damage is, well, winning in favor of Infi. But as we see a Death Coil straight up onto that Paladin. Paladin quickly with a Holy Light as well. Does survive a little while longer. Thunderclap going to finish off some more units, as we are looking at more items again and again. Death Coil, well, trying to finish off the Death Knight. Death Knight does have a Potion of Lesser invulnerability. Mountain King is going to be able to survive here. Archmage does have a potion of lesser invulnerability. Death Coil going onto the Mountain King. Mountain King is going to be able to survive here, trying to run back into a corner. He gets taken down, and that is going to be the game. Mountain King getting taken down, and Romantic leaving. The Archmage would have finished the job right there as well, as Infi outlasts Romantic here on Tide Hunters. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Here are the final scores.